Right then guys, so we're back with some pop-ups I'm going to be fishing a small bait. Soups coming up now, the temperatures are dropping, even though it's quite a nice day today. Mine being out and bang today, to be honest with you. There's a few lumps in this, which is from the amino, so we break them apart. It's on one. So we break them apart. It looks orange in that, but it won't be. It will turn out to be a yellow colour. So the first thing we do is we add a bit of a normal pop-up mix to this, because I've got all the confidence in the world of just Polaris on its own, to be honest with you. But because the baits are so small, I'm wanting as much buoyancy in there as possible, and the way to do that is by slowly adding Polaris mix, but all the time. Nice fluoro yellow colour. Range in this actually, but they are a yellowy colour. They will turn out to be, which I'm not so bothered about anyway. They have got a little bit of orange tint to them. But so now we go for the first handful of cork dust, which we work into the eggs, and just work that into eggs. So we've got the pop-up mix and we've got dust. So we mix them together now. And these are going to be. These have also got a little bit of amaretto. Is it amaretto? Amaretto? Is this the way to amaretto? It's got a bit of that in anyway. Right. I've got labels coming as well. I've got all the proper labels and everything coming. I mean, I'm quite happy with that for myself. You know what I mean? And a few lads that I know, they'll be quite happy with that as well. Mainly for eBay and Instagram and places like that, where I'm getting asked for a bit of bait that I'll be sending it all packaged and in proper bags and that from now on. It's carp anglers are a funny breed. Right, so that coat just nice kind of took the colour down. It always does. Always takes the colour to a darker colour. It always does. Think about it. Colour's not that important. As long as we've got a bit of yellow in there, it's all that matters. Right, so we just keep kneading. Sorry about washing guys. I should really have waited, but I'll have to bit. It's on its final cycle by the sounds of it, so it should have done soon. So what we'll do then now is we're going to add one more handful of cork dust, well, half a handful cork dust into that mix, into that Polaris pop-up mix. There's enough buoyancy, like I said, in a Polaris mix for a larger bait, but like I said earlier, these are going to be 12mm barrels, and from them 12mm barrels I want them to be as buoyant as possible, for the simple reason of we don't want to be messing about with small baits, not holding with a larger hook, not holding a small bait up. I've just dusted a tray off here in pop-up mix. That will stop the pop-up mix. Once the baits are rolled and they're perfectly round, it's where most people go wrong with pop-ups. I'll stick them on a tray with no form of anything to stop them sticking to the tray. So then when you go to lift them off that tray, it's when you will find that majority of pop-ups will get a looser shape. It's from moving them about on that tray. Really sorry about that. Washer, by the way. I just didn't take into account that washer was running. Right, so one more spoonful into there, and then I weren't going to do it as if this is a video, but I don't think I've covered cork dust and Polaris pop-up mix on YouTube yet. So the whole reasoning behind that is that I'm going to roll these now, so I didn't want to have to mess about waiting till washer had done and what have you. It's, if you can coat it, you can coat it, if not just switch off. But I just wanted to explain the reasoning behind the Polaris pop-up mix being in there as well. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a very, very small amount of oil, just to really help in the sticking factor. But that pop-up mix now is pretty much bang on. It's cleared the bowl, and it's a lovely pop-up mix. It's from a one egg, you know what I mean? It's you may get about, I normally get about 1.5 tubs to 2 tubs of pop-ups out of a 1 egg mix, which you will be surprised at. I do use large eggs though, but you will be surprised at the amount of mix you get out of a 1 egg. So that feels pretty much perfect to me now, that guys. So now just washing your hands, getting rid of that grease. You've got a kind of brown colour, these. It's the corking them. Don't worry about it, like I said. It's the flavour and the and also the maize is a kind of a different colour to the maize is a different colour to sweet corn, and it has got maize in it, so as far as I'm concerned, I'm happy with that. Right, so now we've got, that's from a 1 egg, believe it or not. There's a lot of pop-up mix. That's probably maybe even be too thick here. I don't know why. Yeah, that's fine. Strange. Yeah. We'll roll along. 12mm nozzle. Water's boiling. Perfect. Right, so first sausage out. So we'll test this first sausage. Oh, it's coming out lovely. This is going to be nice. These should be nicer pop-ups. I'm going to do half of this at 12mm, and I'm going to do some. I'm also going to do some 16mm. Not 16, 14s. So it's going to be a mixed batch for this one, I'm afraid. But it's definitely something that I'm really liking at the minute at Coke Bowl, or the Coke Bowl lafters, and they come out beautifully. Now this is what we're looking for now. But what we're looking at, this one is slightly odd, and that one is slightly odd. So we stick them back in the bowl, and we only keep the best ones. We want them to be perfect, so if they're slightly odd shape, they will sit funny on their they will sit funny on a rig. But because there's cork dust in these, they're only 12mm, like I said, so they will quite easily hold a size 6 up because of the cork dust in it. If there were no cork dust in it, not a chance in it. So the N2 again, always the N2, so it seems to be funny. But I ain't bothered about that. Again, onto the pop-up mix. And with that, just carry on now as way through, which today I'm not going to stop it. I'm not going to stop you today. I'll see just how fast that I do actually get these done. Now these are all coming out lovely. In fact, I don't think this is actually a Polaris as well. I think it's another make, this one what I used to use, which I've forgot the name of it now. I'll try and find out for you, but it is cheaper than perfect, absolutely beautiful barrels then. So we'll bang them on. We're sitting them onto that cork dust flouring I've done. So we probably get I will count them, and I will make sure that there's roughly 40, because all my pop-ups contain 40 pop-ups. So make sure that there's roughly 45 pop-ups. It's nearly enough. All my pop-ups contain that. Now this is a mix of two flavours and all, by the way. It's mainline cell, essential cell, and pineapple. And like I said, amaretto, the drink amaretto. I love using whiskey and Baileys and stuff like that. I've done it for a long time, and it's something I'll continue to do. In winter, it does really, really well. For some, I think it's the heat that it must give off, because don't forget these pop-ups, they've got a seal on them. Once that seal's broken, that's when the true flavours come out of it. So that's when you're getting them, they'll be getting that heat from the whiskey, and I think it's the heat that they like. I will be honest with you, I think it's that heat they like. I'm going to do a few more of these, by the way, because it is a big pop-up mix, and they're coming out really nice. I'm liking these, they're looking mint. So then from that now, we're going to do at least 2 to 3 more sausages, I would say. So 3 more sausages. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Put that off. And then I caught a nice common yesterday at a treat, and a last minute, really a last ditch idea. I thought I'll nip down and I'll take a rod with me, and I'll see what I can do while I'm down there. Well, I mainly went down for kingfisher, not for carp, but while I was down there, every time I go down to treat and I put bait in. If I've got any roll ends left, I put bait in. By roll ends, guys, I mean when I'm rolling kilos and kilos of bait, I end up with stuff like that. What I do is, obviously not pop-ups, but what I do is I boil them, I put them all in one bag, and sometimes I'll end up with 15-20 kilo of roll ends. Now what I'll do is I'll wait while I've got a decent amount of it, about 10 kilo of it, and then I will take it out of the freezer and I'll put some of it through blender, chop some of it up, make some of it into flake, and I'll just keep putting it in. Now I've been baiting a swim on treating now for going on easily probably a month. With no intention of dropping on it until one day when I had nothing else to do, and I thought I'll drop down and I'll see if we can nail one on quickly. I dropped down yesterday, and within 35-40 minutes of rod being out, it tore off with that common on, and it's one of the commons I've been after. It's one our Joel had when we very first started fishing it, and he had it through night on a 48 hour, and I thought I'm going to come back for that, but it's really lightened up in colour to the point that, and I mean really lightened up in colour, that common. So I thought I would chuff with that, to be honest with you. But this is the stage we're at now, guys. We've got a couple of ones that are quite misshapen, but the rest look spot on. So they're 12mm barrels that we do. So they're the 12mm barrels. So all now is I'll flip your bike to this angle, and then all we do now is we roll them barrels until they get a nice coating on them. In fact, I'm going to continue with this because I'm really liking them. I'm going to continue with them, at least few more anyway. Right, we're doing another 4 sausages, and I think that should be round about off at pace, to be honest with you. Bigger mix that for one egg, I will admit that myself. So then halfway up again, back down, take the off cuts off again. Yeah, lovely. Oh, whoa, we forgot to it's essential that you keep that. And I'm telling you now, some of you will be thinking, oh, I ain't doing that, it's a waste of pop-up mix. Take my word for it, if you don't do it, they will not be round. They will not be stay the shape that you want them to. You have got to get that bit of pop-up mix onto that tray and then just continue along that way. Otherwise they'll lose the shape, simple as. But I mean, you do what you think's best, but I'm just giving you tips on what I've learned since I've been doing this. And pop-ups I struggled with for years, but I tell you, now I can pretty much roll a pop-up of any shape or size, bang on. Beautiful little 12mm barrels these, they're gonna do well. I love small baits now, I really do, honestly, I really love small baits. So what we're gonna do is guys, I'm gonna do all of them in this because they look mint. They look absolutely mint. No, in fact, I'm not. I'm gonna pause you for a sec, and then I'll get back to you. But what I'm gonna do is there's still a fair bit in here. I'm gonna switch the nozzle over to a 14mm nozzle. But first of all, we're gonna get these boiled. Then once they've been boiled, I will show you what they look like. First of all, we're on a really fast boil there. So I always turn the boil down just for a few seconds until you get your pop-ups in there. You'll get a few that want to escape, you always do. Gently pick them up and drop them back in. And then we go back up on the boil again. 2 minutes. Right then, so what we're doing now is these are the pop-ups that I've just... Absolutely perfect, absolutely. They've all come out perfect, I love them. Right, cork dust. There's cork dust in there, pineapple butyric acid, and they're pineapple and amino really, but just with the liqueur amaretto in. Now, they're going to be super buoyant. They've come out a little bit bigger than the 12mm this way, the 12mm. But they've obviously, I think they're a 12mm barrel, to be honest with you. But I'm well happy with how they've come out the mint. So there's going to be a few spare tubs of these if anyone wants any. And then the next one, we're going to up the size. It was actually, yes, it was a little bit, it was a little bit smaller than I thought. So now we're going to up the gun size. We're going to do some round baits here now. So some round 16s. There ain't going to be many of these guys, but the thing, what I'm going to do with these is, these will be, there's not going to be many of these, they've only got 3 sausages out of them. But the point is what I'm trying to get through to is, I've used a 16mm there, but what I'm going to do is I'm just slowly going to just push that sausage out and take it down to about a 14 or 15mm boiler. Now, from that, it's smashed to pieces, but for the simple reason of the cork dust. It's something I've found out over the past. Now what we need to do is we need to take that back out. We need to pull that back. And what we're going to do is we're going to go with 14s. It's with cork dust, with round baits. What I found out is the mix. I never took that into account. Is the mix has to be slightly more sloppy. So we're just going to continue on with the baits that are in that tub. What I'm loving, and now they've gone like a fluoro yellow, by the way. So we're going to continue with them. They look absolutely the part. They look the business. I'm telling you now. They're definitely going to do well. I know they are. Just through the size. Anything else? It's the size of them. Small baits. This year, is a year that I've come to realise that small baits are just, honestly, they are definitely the way to go on a lot of places. I caught on a 12mm yesterday as well. A small barrel, again, small barrel, doing the job. So again, we just run sausages out. We're going to get a few more because I forgot there was some mix left in bowl. We're going to get a few more out of it. But the thing with this is, guys, it is a mainline pop-up mix. It doesn't tend to swell when it's being boiled. Now the cheaper ones do swell. The minstrel baits and all that, they swell when they come out of the off boil. They swell. It's always been case with them with me. They've always swelled. The cheaper pop-up mixers have always swelled. It's the reason that I'll only use mainline, because I'm wanting the baits to be as perfect as I can get them. Now in my own fishing, I ain't bothered about if they're not absolutely perfect, but people are really OCD when it comes to baits. I will be honest with you, to the point that sometimes it's ridiculous. But it's the whole point of this to start off with, which I'm glad that I took that bigger nozzle off, because there's no point in doing a 16mm corkdust bait when it takes the own principle of why I'm doing them away, which is I'm doing them as small baits for the simple reason. Actually, these are 14s. 14s, that they're 12s, which you won't be able to see the difference with a naked eye. But believe me, if you saw them close up, then you'd be able to see the difference in their size. It's just it's a 2mm. You can't really make it out on a camera, 2mm. But it's the whole point of it is, this year it's really opened my eyes to small baits. I always fished a 16 or 15mm bait, sometimes even an 18. But it's really opened my eyes to just how effective small baits are. Small baits are deadly, absolutely deadly. It's the fish love them, and it enables you to fish over smaller food items like hemp and corn and other things. The difference in these colours is unbelievable, guys. I'll just show you this. Right, so that you look at now, it's kind of orange in colour. That one's a misshape that's coming out. Right, so look orange there, but look how they've dried. Bang on the colour I want them. Now they are absolutely perfect. Perfect. Corkdust barrels. Yeah, corkdust barrels. Ideal. So we just continue with rolling these now, which for a 1 egg mix, it was a big egg mix. That it must have blown ostrich or something laid that egg. But it's we've got away with it. We've used more pop-up mix, obviously, but I ain't bothered about that. So, like I said, these are baits that are unique. It's something that I've been doing a long time with amaretto and whiskey, Baileys. I've been doing it a long time. So that ain't new to me at all in the very slightest. I've been using alcohol in my baits for a long time. It's I mean, come on guys, it's winter. Let's get them pissed up and we have more chance of catching. In all seriousness, honestly, it's definitely a major edge. It's small baits, 100% small baits. So we go with small baits. This time of year, they always seem to do better. And then there's a right little bit of pop-up mix left, but I'm gonna ditch it, I think, unless I can get it in barrel and get one more sausage out of it. But if not, you see, when you're doing these small baits and using cork, you've got to be really fast when you're using it, because the coke sucks the moisture out of the eggs like anything. So it's you've got to be working. It's the reason I'm really fast forward today. You know what I mean? So we've got another sausage out of that now, guys. So there's not going to be as much waste. We've got two and a little bit of one out of it. So I was going to chuck that, but I'm glad I didn't now. So we've got them there. Now, some of you might be thinking, why don't you do more than one row at a time? I do when I'm rolling the up baits. When I'm rolling feed baits. When I'm using pop-ups, only ever one at a time. For the simple reason of, I want them to be absolutely the best I can get shape-wise. Because it's the only time I take into account that a shape really matters when you're doing pop-ups. I just think that if they're not perfectly round or they're not perfect barrels, then you will find that your rigs kind of sit funny. And that one there, that'll still come out alright. So what we'll do now is we're still on a slow boil with this. So we'll give them a quick coating and then we'll drop them in, guys, and then we're pretty much, we've got us a pop-ups for water bottle here, and we've also got a couple of tubs for sale if anyone wants them. So right then, guys, so now we've rolled. We're probably going to get, on average, I would say, just looking at them, I would say that we're probably going to get more than likely 2.5 tubs, which will mean that, again, I more than likely end up with half a tub because I will get rid of the other tub, the other 2 tubs. It's how I managed to get by with the ingredients and buying stuff to make more bait. It pays for my own fishing. That's all what matters to me. It pays for my own fishing. It's and after all, that's all what it's about. I ain't the kind of dude that feeds lightly, you know what I mean? Not even in winter I don't feed lightly. I still put a decent amount of bait in. When I say a decent amount of bait, I mean by that I mean probably in winter, rather than using 5 kilo on a 48-hour session, I will probably only use 2 kilo. To the point of it's. And now I've come up with that base mix that breaks down really fast in water. The new winter base mix. I mean, if you ain't seen that one, because some of you watch one and then don't miss others, but I've come up with a new base mix, and it's built on two different boiling times. But the base mix itself is full of natural food, full of food value. But what I'm doing is we're boiling it at different times. It's giving me different breakdown times while the bait's out in the pond. So it is, when you're fishing out there and you've got a bed of bait out there, you might have 200 baits out there. Rather than having 200 baits out there sat there doing nothing, half of the base mix, if not 3/4 of it, is done on the principle of it will break down in 6 to 8 hours and it will become a crumb. It doesn't look like a crumb when you're looking at it on the lake bed. It will look like a whole boilie. But if you put your hand down onto it and you touched it, it would go into a crumb. And that's the whole point of it. You don't want big beds of boilies out there that are doing nothing. If the carp aren't feeding and having it for a winter, you're just going to end up with loads of bait out there that is doing nothing apart from gathering different algae and so on, because there's still algae that are growing in winter, take my word. So you don't want them big beds of bait out there like that for a winter. So that's the whole principle around that 2 different. And then I've got one that will it'll last you 48 hours, it won't break down. Now with that, it's with that principle, it's giving you far better chances of catching carp in winter, because you've got the ones that are breaking down are leaving smelling water, and then you've got the all baits that will be there, but the ones breaking down are getting under stones into weeds, so you've still got that smell and attraction from them. If that makes sense to you, the boilers are still out there fishing for you. They're just not a whole bait. They broke down into a crumb. So the crumbs is a lot of attraction in that crumb, and eventually the carp will get on it and they'll get onto them other baits. Now you constantly need to be putting odd pouch full of catapult out about every 15-20 minutes, a pouch full of catapult, just about 6 or 7 baits. Every half an hour or so, 15-20 baits around each rod, and then you'll find that they'll break down and you'll get odd baits that stay all. But the old baits will even go softer than the normal ones what I would do in summer. They're more squidgy after a shorter time, and it's the old principle of the water temperatures being cooler. The carp aren't having it like they were, but with the temperatures as they are now, to be perfectly honest with you, I'm going to water meadow, and I'm taking the winter base mix with me, but I'm going for it with bait if temperatures are like this, 100%. I'll tell you that now. There's no way they're still going to be having it bait wise. I'm telling you now. I noticed yesterday, I went out with camera yesterday, and I noticed that every single thing that I watched yesterday, what were wild, was in a major hurry. And by that I mean, we're busy, really busy. Gathering as much food as they can, you know what I mean, getting as much food together as possible in a quick time. Squirrels were just going crazy. They looked like they were on acid. They were bouncing all over the place, getting acorns, hiding them, and then you've got birds coming out, and everything was in such urgency to feed, which I go on that a lot in my fishing. Now if that's happening on the outside with birds and everything to an extreme, I mean they do it. The urge, in autumn, things always step up in nature, but there's certain times when it really steps up, it boom, and then everything's faster, everything's in fast forward, and I'll tell you that now, guys, that time's now, and I'm telling you that now. From what I saw yesterday, that time's definitely now. But there's no better time to be getting out there and putting good beds of bait, and I'm not saying that I ain't bothered. I'm not bothered if I don't want to be rolling no more bait anyway, to be honest with you. Not for a while anyway. I've got a freezer full anyway. But the thing is there's no better time than now to be getting that bait out there in readiness for when them carp come along, because I'm telling you now, they're going to be on the major munch. Now these are the ones I've just done. There you go. That's one of the I think that may be a 14, that one. And then you're not going to be able to tell the difference because camera's not going to show you. But that is that's a 12. Now you cannot tell the difference because it's only 2 mil on camera, but look how yellow they've gone now. Absolutely right nice bait, them mateys, I'll tell you that now, honestly. So anyone that's after a tub of them now, like I said, there's probably going to be 2 tubs spare of these, and if you want a tub, let me know. But the Polaris, not Polaris, they're a pop-up mix I had. I'm not sure what the name is, but it's a good pop-up mix because I wouldn't have had it round if not. Alt shite I ditch straight away, or I give it to someone who ain't bothered about rolling shite pop-ups. But there's not many people I know like that. But as far as I'm concerned, they are as good as any pop-up that's out there. And I'm telling you now, they smell absolutely amazing. Pineapple you can get selling there, and you can also get that amaretto. They will stay popped up for as long as you're fishing. I'll tell you that now. So I hope you like that, guys. Check you later.